Good day, everyone. This presentation is about getting the most out of Puzzilla Premium. Go to the web address bar and type in pasilla.org. Puzzilla Premium is a paid site for about $40 a year, but it is free here at the BYU Library. I'm going to assume you know a little bit about the basics of Puzzilla. If you need a refresher, you can see a tutorial on how to use it here, or you can learn about other aspects of Puzzilla by going to the How To tab at the top of the page and see videos and articles. This presentation will talk about the filters and the log. This is the only program that I am aware of that will make a specified list of names which you can filter and later print out, which I think is a big plus. Sign in with your LDS username and password. This view is referred to as a chart. When you first sign in, it will put you as a root person. You can specify how many generations you want to go out, click on or refresh the data if it freezes, change the root person here if you want to start with another root person. You will see all these panels a gray color when you first go in. Clicking on them will activate them and bring in the color. I will just mention these filters before I go into the log. When you click on Hints, there are three choices. Hovering your mouse over any of the filters will bring up an information box and tell you what it does. This one marks a yellow gold box over the people in your tree that have hints. Clicking on a dot or person brings up their hints, and you can see the hints here. The probability score is found here. The higher the number, the more likely it matches your ancestor. You can filter the type of hint you want to find here, such as a census, birth, obituary, and so forth. Search 10 hints, finds 10 hints at a time to add people to your tree. There is a separate video on how to use the Search 10 hints under the How To tab, so I will not cover that in this presentation. Everything with a pink square above it has sources, and those sources are seen here when you click or freeze a person. Click on any name and it will instantly show you all the sources that are listed in Family Search for that person. Clicking on the search will search the chart for records containing a name, place, or ID, and or a birth within a specified time period. Maybe I want to see everybody who lives in a certain country or other people with a certain last name and so forth. I used a time period for what you see here. Pinkish purple are changes made by you, the user, either by adding or changing the record in Family Tree. A possible duplicate is another person whose identity is similar to the selected person and may be the same person. Available ordinances are identified by a green square. It will find LDS ordinances that may need to be done. You must have an LDS user account to allow this function to work. I need to detour a second. Sometimes when people are really close together, it makes it hard to see which person has the green square. Use the wheel of your mouse to zoom in. The person you click on will be identified with a light neon green and will have a gray circle around them. Even zoomed in, I'm having trouble identifying which person it is. In this case, I may have to move down a generation, then click on Descendants. And this will make it easier to distinguish. Tracking means this person is on my log or list. More about this in a minute. Status means those on your log or list that have been identified with a 1 to 5 status. You have to see the log to understand status. This column is the 1 to 5 status. Once you click on a dash, it turns into a triangle, and you can use them in whatever way you want. I might want to mark people with an orange triangle, say, if I wanted to go back and look at their hints, or I might mark people with a pink triangle if they didn't have children, and so forth. You can make them mean whatever suits your purpose. This is handy if you're using more than one filter and want to distinguish between them. Targets will have a red square over them and are suggested starting points for new searches. They show people with no child records who reached childbearing age, were born at least 110 years ago, and who lived within a specified time and place. You can enter a location or a time period, or both. Besides looking for descendants, you can look for ancestors or go directly into Family Tree or search them in Find My Past or Ancestry. If you go into Ancestry, click on Edit Search and make sure all 4 boxes are checked because you want to find stories and photos as well as historical records and family trees. Often when someone comes into the library, they ask for help to find a name to take to the temple. I will ask them if they want one name or would they like to make a list of names to take home and work on. 99% of the time they want a list to take home and are excited about that possibility. Puzzilla lays out a nice fan chart that makes it easy to go around all 32 generations in a systemized order and look at each couple's descendants. You want the outer row to be in the late 1700s. If you are young, you might want to go out 7 generations. Start at one side and click on either the man or the woman. You don't need to do both because they both have the same descendants. In the information box, click on Descendants. You don't have to do ordinances. You can do the same process if you're just looking for people with hints or duplicates or any of the other filters that meet your needs. I am demonstrating ordinances because that is where we get the most requests for. Click on Ordinances. When you find names with a green square above them, click on one, and when the information box comes up, click on Log This Person. Hubert Gawthorpe is now added to my log or list. Notice the log tab is white because that is what we're on right now. This can stay open if you like. It will not multiply each time you add another name. Click on James's tab because we want to add another person from his descendants. Now you click on Festus Gawthorpe and click on Log This Person to add him to our list. Now I am done looking at James Sharp's line, so I will click on the X of James's tab to get out of this line altogether so I don't have lots of tabs opened up to confuse me. Click on the first tab, which is your starting page. This tab will have your name on it. Now I'm going into my second couple and choose the man or the wife. Click on his descendants. Click on Ordinances. These two with the green squares are the same persons we just put through James Sharp. Sometimes you can have cousins marrying cousins or coming through common lines. If you forgot and click on Log This Person, the log will remind you by highlighting the name on the log. That is a clue that you've already put this person on your log and it will not put it on again. Since there are no additional ordinances, I will click on the X of William Shooter's tab to X out of his descendants. Now I will go to the third couple, or what will be a couple once her spouse is found, Mary Thorpe, and click on her descendants. Click on Ordinances, find the name with a green box above it, and click on Log This Person. You may also want to add to your list all the names who don't have children listed, who live beyond 16 years of age, or create a separate list. And Grace is added to my list. Then I go back to Mary Thorpe's page and log Sissy Thorpe. I have 4 names so far on my log, and I am finished with Mary Thorpe's line, so I will X out of her tab. Then I go and do the same thing with all the rest of the couples, going around until I have finished all 32 or however many generations I have. Here are some things to know about the log. If I click on Hide Columns, it gives me the choice of deleting them or getting them out of the way. Clicking Lifespan will delete the 1 to 5 columns. Clicking on Next will delete this column. Again, all these columns can be used to meet your needs however you want to use them. Clicking Notes will delete this column. This column shows what LDS ordinances are available to do, and you can delete this column also if you don't want it. Highlight a name to delete a row. If you do not see LDS ordinances, click Refresh Ordinances. You can add a name to the log by inserting their personal identification number. To search for someone on the list, type in a name and the list narrows. Delete a name and the search list is restored. When you see a BCI, for instance, it means those ordinances have been done. When all ordinances are done on a person, as in these examples, It means their spouses need work, or there may be duplicates. A blank means no ordinances have been done. To go into Family Search and look at someone's person page, click on their personal identification number. To print out this list, click on Control plus the letter P on your keyboard. Then click on Print and follow your computer's instructions. You now have a list you can take home to work on. If you don't want to print it out for some reason, no worries, Puzzilla will save this list for you indefinitely until you go in and delete the names off the list yourself. If you don't live close by BYU, check with a public library close to you. They may also have a free version of Puzzilla Premium. To get more help, you can click on Frequently Asked Questions found at the bottom of the log page or on the home page. Most of your questions can be answered here. If you purchase Puzzilla, others in your family can use it, but they have to start with a deceased person rather than themselves as the root person. This concludes this presentation. Give this method a try for making a list, and hopefully it'll bring a little joy into your life and those you assist. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.